Welcome to the Weight Loss Podcast, where we offer solutions to the obstacles you face when it comes to achieving your health and fitness goals. As a married couple who's lost a combined weight of 100 kilograms and 11 clothes sizes, our raw, real, and relatable stories will show you the path you must walk to achieve and, more importantly, maintain the results you know you can reach. Because we know it works. So get ready to share the success and show the results with your hosts, Matt and Courtney.
Hello and welcome back to the Weight Loss Podcast. My name is Courtney. This is Matt.
This is Matt.
I don't know why I introduce us every episode when literally the intro has already introduced us, but I introduce us again anyway. Welcome. Today's episode is going to be a good one about...
I hope they're all good ones.
I hope they're all good ones. We think highly of them all, I have to say.
We're committing our time to doing it, so yes.
How to stay consistent when life keeps punching you in the face. What a title. What a title for
one of our better ones. One of our better ones. So if you're the sort of person where every time you start a plan and then life throws something at you, be it like sick kids, some crisis at work, or you're just purely exhausted, then this is going to be for you. So our aim is by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly how to stay consistent, even when life is a hot mess, without needing to just be perfect week after week after week, or feel that you need to develop some sort of level of monk type motivation, because I've never had that.
No.
So basically, if life keeps punching you in the face, we're going to show you how to stop dropping your plan every time you get hit, because it is a big thing that separates those who see some success with this versus those who don't. It's not how well they do when things are easy. It's how well they do when life hates them.
Yes.
So let's dive in, Courtney.
Let's.
So you think with what adults and adulting, what we're juggling in our lives, like work, business, kids, relationships, for some people, caring for aging parents, sick relatives, managing a house.
Yeah.
The chaos of life, or it might be as we get older, or even as we just go through being adults, like hormones, injuries that pop up, sleep patterns that are all over the place. And you find that you're the sort of person that you'll start a new plan, or you'll join a gym, or you'll get a PT, and you'll just be like you're shot out of a cannon. But then, the first week goes well, the second week may go well, and then all of a sudden, okay, life starts to life. Sick kid, work just becomes a clusterfuck, is the technical term that I'm looking for here. Or there's some sort of big deadline at work, or maybe a stressful time with family, an argument, and then it just falls apart. Yeah. And that's hard.
Yeah.
And generally, people like us will tell ourselves that, okay, look, I'll just stop for now. I'll wait till things settle down, and then I'll
restart.
I'll do it again. And this becomes a cycle of like, you start, life gets hard, you stop, you wait for it to smooth down, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you can convince yourself that you're doing the right thing by stopping. It's not even like a give up. I just give up, I'm too overwhelmed at the moment. Sometimes you can convince yourself you're doing the right thing because you convince yourself, I just don't have the mindset to be able to put 100% into it at the moment.
Or the time, the energy.
I'm not going to do my best, so I'd be better off just taking a break, and I'll restart when I'm feeling better.
Yeah, except you're not actually improving. You're teaching yourself that, okay, when things get hard, that's when I give up, or that's when I stop.
Yeah, and it actually, I think mentally, as you say, it works the opposite, because not only you're teaching yourself those, it's really actually quite dejecting. Like it's really, whether you feel it in that moment or not, you're not getting any wins in. Like you're not winning anything.
You're not progressing further than you have before. So you get to the same point, which is when things get hard, and then you stop.
And it can be, I think mentally it's really off-putting.
Well, it can lead to various different feelings. So you can start to feel things like guilt, where it's like, why is it that I can, get it right or nail it with my career or with my family, but I can't seem to make it translate to my health? And you start to think, well, there must be something wrong with me. You start to feel, it could be, another one is a feeling for some people of shame.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, well, I'm so all or nothing, but I can't really ever seem to stick with anything.
Yes.
And that can lead to fear. Where it's like, well, if I can't stay consistent now, where am I going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, potentially 15, 20 years from now?
Yeah.
And this starts to build up where you just form this identity of someone who stops, and it becomes a habit.
It does.
Have you struggled with this?
I'm just trying to think about that before, and I think the easy answer is yes.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm just trying to think of specific examples.
Sure.
I think I was more one that got dejected easily based off lack of results, or I think I've spoken about it in other episodes recently where when I really think about what I was doing in those early days before I met you, I think a lot of it was based on either not seeing results or just having completely unrealistic expectations of what I was trying to do. So I was trying to commit to too much. I was trying to cut out too much, and it wasn't sustainable. And so obviously the first little thing that came up, where it be like a birthday celebration, a Christmas celebration, something, it then would throw me off.
Yeah.
So definitely in terms of I would give up quickly anytime I tried to diet in my past. And I think there were for a lot of different reasons, but ones that you mentioned earlier, work or family or things like that, would come up definitely. But I personally think a lot of mine was based upon I was trying to do too much to begin with.
Okay.
So it wasn't going to be sustainable anyway. It was just whatever turned me off that plan first, one sort of thing, if that makes sense. What about you?
Yes, I was the very prototypical sort of person where it would be as simple as work sucked today, I'm not going to the gym this afternoon. So I used to be when I first started going to the gym, I was a PM guy. So I would do it towards the end of the day, but I was still nowhere near being ready to learn how to not be a victim of my emotions. So it would just take any sort of remotely negative experience at work, or even as simple as, I'm just too tired today. So the boss yelled at me, or I had a bad interaction with a customer, or a disagreement with a colleague, or I was just tired. I'm just going to go straight home. So I'd go home and I'll just go again tomorrow. Except tomorrow would become many days down the track, if not weeks. And it's just, inconsistency became a learned behavior. So it was just I used any out I could find to skip the gym. And one thing that I learned is that the problem is not so much that life keeps punching you in the face. The problem for a lot of people is that their definition of consistency only works when life is perfect. So we would like to fix that.
Yes. Yes.
So let's jump into
getting back to the reason we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, let's jump into the framework that we've laid out here. So we have for you 5 keys to consistency when life is chaos.
Or a hot mess, as you say.
The hottest of messes. So I'll start with the first key, Courtney, which is?
Redefine consistency. So we're going to be redefining consistency as more often than not every day forever.
Yeah, so it is a cliche, but worth bringing up here. Consistency is not perfection.
Yes.
That's not, those two things aren't in alignment here. So for a lot of people like us, like your brain thinks that being consistent means never missing a thing, never getting a thing wrong, which then wires you to tell yourself if you do miss something, like, oh, I had to miss this particular workout, or I ate something off my plan, or just something wasn't perfect, you think that you failed. Oh, well, I've screwed it up. The whole thing's just go straight in the bin. As someone who's done this for a long time, I can tell you that real world, high level consistency, as in this is going to change your life, is not missing 80% plus of the time, not 100%. Because even I don't get it right 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You also don't have to.
No.
But high level consistency is 80% and above.
Mm.
Now, for most people, they're not going to start there.
Yes.
It's something you build up to. But the changes I've seen people make on a quality 80% level of consistency and above, it's just been profound.
Mm. I agree.
Cool. Let's move on.
I've missed something. What did I miss? You're waiting for me to say something.
Oh, I'm giving you room to speak.
Oh, no. I mean, I didn't have anything to add.
Okay. So the thing is, if you're aiming for 100%, then what you're doing is you're building a plan that breaks the moment life isn't perfect.
Yes.
So it's about really sort of, let's lay this out here. We will tell ourselves that we need to be 7 days out of 7 each week perfect, which we actually don't.
Well, you're going with your 80% plus, right?
Yeah. So I would rather, especially when life just becomes a shitstorm, I'd rather you know that you're the sort of person that can aim for 5 to 6 out of those 7 days being solid and giving yourself a bit of wiggle room for what I call shit happens moments.
Is that how you came up with the 80% plus target?
I came up with the 80% plus target just through seeing what people have done.
Yeah.
Doing this with like coaching people for a very, very long time. This is like seeing through a volume number of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, and my own sort of personal progression. That, from what I've observed, that is the number where if you hit that and you build above and beyond that, you're going to achieve things that most people think is not possible. So it's not like I didn't just pull the number out of, oh, this must be the number. It's like, no, observing people, regular people that I have, coached over a long time now, that's the target. And then the higher it goes from there, the greater the results. But it's the mistake people make is they'll start from a beginner level and think they have to hit the advanced stuff immediately.
The 80% plus.
80% consistent, like a high level 80% consistency, that's getting towards advanced stage.
Yeah. The
most elite of clients that I've seen, and where for me myself, where I've really pushed hard, we're talking 90 to 95% consistent. But most people won't need that.
All right. So real world beginner consistency, Mark?
Well, step one is to establish where you're currently at.
Yeah.
What's your starting point?
Yeah.
And then aim higher than that. Mm-hmm. So I'll use myself as an example. I was inconsistent entirely. So for me, just being able to stick to a basic plan of like, well, okay, I'm committing to going to the gym 2 days a week, just hitting that to begin with, just going 2 days a week is your first improvement if you're inconsistent there.
Yeah.
I don't like to give people percentages when they first start out, because you initially want to have the context of, well, where are you starting from? You got to establish someone's starting point. Because everyone's
goals.
Sorry?
Little incremental goals, progression goals.
Yes, you do. Well, before you do that, step one is, well, what's happening right now? I don't like the idea of going, okay, I'm going to apply to you, someone who is probably ready to handle a bit more pressure, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
I want to apply to someone like that expectations or a standard that they're already beyond.
Mm.
It's like if you've got someone who you know is an intermediate level person, give them intermediate level plans, expectations, etc. Don't give them high level ones.
Yes.
Same with someone who's a beginner. You're not going to put high level expectations on someone who's a beginner. I'll get like an example is a client. Like you might have a client who's brand new and they're literally like their first month in to their first program. I'm going to treat them differently to someone who's a year and a half in.
Yeah.
So the consistency percentages are different. The expectations are different. Even the discussions are different. So what I like to tell people is long term, we are going to aim to build you up towards the 80% consistency mark, regardless of where you are right now. But where you are right now tells you what sort of incremental steps you need to take. So you're not going to go from being completely inconsistent to being 80% immediately. You're not taking that big jump. Mm. You're going to just take it literally one step at a time. Does that make sense?
It does. So the redefine consistency with this key point here, number one, it applies whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. We still need to redefine consistency as more often than not.
Yeah, well, that's to me, that's what I tell myself. Like my task, no matter what level I'm at, my task is to be on plan more often than not, because I understand that perfection, if I do hit perfection, right, like I have had times where I've been 100%. It never lasts.
Yeah.
It never lasts. All it takes is something that you can't see coming.
Yeah.
Or potentially something that you can see coming where it's like, okay, I've been absolutely just locked in for like 2 months now and there's a wedding coming up. And you know what? I'm going to have some wedding cake.
Yeah.
So I might choose to break that streak.
Yes.
But then you can have those times where life's going to choose it for you.
Mm.
You know, like, and unfortunately, it can come in different forms. Like, you could lose a family member,
pet,
or a pet, and you're in a phase of grief.
You could suddenly lose a job.
Yep.
You do, like, lots of different things can happen in life.
Yeah, exactly. So the aim just has to be, no matter what level you're at, is I want to be on plan more often than I am not on plan.
Yes.
And then based on how the individual evolves, you can then evolve what that looks like with them.
Yes.
So it could be, you might give yourself an aim for, okay, I'm just going to start with picking whatever amount of training sessions that I feel I can hit most weeks. And that's a real easy one that most people get wrong because they aim too much.
Yes.
So,
or they vary it week to week. This week I'm going to do 2. Next week I'm going to do 4. Then the week after I'm going to go back to 2.
Or just not go.
Yeah.
So from a training perspective, like the best plan is always the one you can stick to.
Yes.
And I'd rather someone learn how to hit an effective minimum than start on some U-Butte advanced program. And this is the thing that trainers get wrong all the time. They'll take a beginner client and start them on an advanced program. So, hey, you person who barely gets to the gym 2 times a week consistently, well, now that you're paying me, I'm going to get you going there 6 days a week. Like, no chance.
Yes.
I'd rather say to someone, show to me and show to yourself that you can hit a consistent, effective minimum. Learn how to get more from less. So I tell people that are particularly beginner level, you're going to learn how to go 2 times a week. Mm. And you're going to learn how to get the most out of 2 times a week. Because then if it is suitable to go to 3 times a week, you're going to know how to get the most out of that as well.
Yes.
But it could also be, it doesn't need to be exercise. For someone, it could be as simple as, well, hey, I'm going to focus on being as planned and prepared as possible with my food and my meals. Mm. Because then I'm going to make less decisions with my food, which is going to help with avoiding things like decision fatigue. Mm. Because it's easy, much easier to make, let's use the phrase less than ideal choices when you've got nothing planned or prepared, and then life does what life does and just throws you a shit sandwich.
Kicks you in the face. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's much easier to stay on track, avoid feelings of like, guilt or shame when you know that you can still make choices that align with what you want to do because you've already planned or prepared them ahead of time. So when life does what life does, you're not going to be as much of a victim of that. So I would say to someone that just pick somewhere to start, be it with your exercise or your food and what you're making for yourself, or if you're feeling really ballsy, do both.
Both.
But just aim initially to hit them 5 to 6 days out of 7.
Yeah.
If that's your starting point, it's like, holy shit, like, okay, you're something you can work with here.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Because also keep in mind, that foundation that you lay, you can build on that. It's just a starting point. Yeah. Where you start doesn't mean it's where you end. But if you aim for 5 to 6 good days out of 7, and you can consistently do that week on week on week, as opposed to disappearing once something gets difficult in life. Exactly. That's a massive improvement, and like that's worthy of a few high fives.
Yes, absolutely.
Next one. The next idea here, the next key.
All right. Key 2, work with your life season, not against it.
Season is the word. So you go through seasons in your life. Yes. And when you're in a season, the thing to understand is you're not in a life sentence. So you might be in a season where you've just had a baby, you've just become a parent, or you're pregnant and you're going through the season of pregnancy, or you're going through a season where work is just absolute carnage.
Yeah.
Everything's just being dumped on you, depending on where you work. Like, if you work, for example, in retail and you're going towards the end of the year with like your Black Friday sales, your Boxing Day sales, like Christmas, it is absolute. As someone who used to work in retail, like that is a season of pure chaos.
And you know it's coming.
Yeah, and you know it's coming. But you could be in a season where you're caring for parents.
Caring for parents. There could be a grief, some sort of grief that's happened in your life with loss. Even a shorter periods of time where you've got school holidays.
Yes, 100%. So school holidays, or it could be a season where, as for women that are getting, into their 40s and beyond, perimenopause, menopause.
Yes.
And the thing is, the key to understand here is that every season of your life will require a different version of the plan.
Yes.
This is big. So we spoke about, school holidays with kids. You could be starting a new job, getting a promotion. There could be rehabilitation from an injury.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've just done my knee. I've had my knee reconstructed, or I've had my ACL done, or I've hurt my shoulder, I've hurt my back, and I've got to rehab through that. Or, I've just had a patch where I see this a lot with parents with young kids, where one of the kids brings something home from daycare, like some sort of sickness, and it just does the tour around the house. And there's that season where, the kid's sick, then the next kid's sick, and then mum and dad get sick, and everyone's just sharing sickness. And you go through the season of that.
Germs.
And the thing is, it's worth understanding that what will work for you when things are quiet may not work when things are less than quiet, when things are chaos. You can't really apply a plan for a quiet season to a busy season. They're different things. That's the key thing to keep in mind here. You aren't failing if you've moved into a new season and you are struggling. It's like the season changed, but the plan didn't. And that's what has to happen here. The plan has to change to adapt to the season.
Yeah.
And it's where you want to sort of start to, define the season that you're in. So in this particular season, is what worked for me previously going to work now? And a good example I see of this is when I've spoken to a lot of women, for example, where they're in their late 30s, 40s and 50s. They got kids, they got their career, or they're in their own business, whatever it might be. And you ask them what they've done previously in the past. And a lot of them will have had an experience where they used to go to the gym in their 20s. They used to train a lot. And yeah, they were just smashing it. But they didn't have the business. They didn't have the career. They didn't have the kids. And now they're like, well, yeah, I just can't do what I was doing back then now. And my response is always the same. It's because you're in a different season of your life now. So we now need to go, well, okay, that thing worked for you back then in that season. We need to find something different for you now to adapt to this.
I think the key that you said before, Matt, was that it's not failure to change that plan. Like,
It's not failure at all. No, it's smart.
yeah, we shouldn't, and this goes back to the emotions you were talking about earlier, like a sense of failure, like shame.
Yep.
You shouldn't feel bad or feel like a failure before you've even given it a chance, because it's not going to be the same plan as you used to do.
The first thing that needs to be adjusted when you move into a new season is your expectations. Then you adjust the plan.
Yeah. And know that you can still get results with a new plan.
Of
Like,
course you can.
it's just because something worked for you in the past and that particular plan isn't going to work for you now, it doesn't mean that all hope is lost and that it's not going to work.
No.
There's multiple different ways to do this.
There has to be adaptability. And it can be for some people, like the season could be, they change from a job that is based in the office or a job where they're on their feet all day to working from home at a desk.
Mm.
They're different seasons. Like I can relate to that personally, where, years and years and years running gym sessions, PT sessions and whatnot, to then working fully online and working out of a desk. It changes your requirements. Like, easy example for me is I used to get heaps and heaps and heaps of steps just from my PT sessions at the gym or us running the sessions at our gym, because we're up on our feet for hours on end.
Yeah.
Carrying around weights, talking to people, like watching, observing, etc. And you'd rack up a bunch of steps. That goes away. Or this as well when you used to work in hospitality, running weddings, just racking up kilometers on your feet.
Haze.
Yeah, and to then go, if you go, for example, from that to
A desk
a
job.
desk job, all those steps go away. All that movement goes away, which means you're now in a different season. You have to be more deliberate with things like, okay, how often am I moving my body? And that was an adjustment period for me too. And I've more than adjusted comfortably to that, but that took time to get through my head. Was like, hey, that was then, this is now.
Yeah. And it could also be, we spoke about school holidays before, right? So it could be that you plan your weight training cycles around the school terms.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
So you know that, like, on the school holidays, you're not going to have the flexibility to get to the gym the times you usually would. So you're going to work out your heavy weight training cycles around school terms. So when the school holidays come,
You're between programs.
Yep. And so you're doing more incidental movement, maybe with the kids, you're traveling, maybe you're away, you're doing things. So you're just going to be walking more or something like that, swimming if it's summer, and you're not going to have to go and do your heavy weight training sessions. And it doesn't matter because it is a planned break anyway.
Yeah.
So
great point.
There can be short-term plan changes like that, just very small changes that you make to work in with the seasons that you know are coming. Otherwise, some seasons come unexpectedly, like you said, Matt, where things might come up at work, illness, grief, injury. These are probably more unexpected seasons, and you might need to pivot more quickly. But I think the main point of this is not to fight these seasons and not allow them to work against you, but to work with them.
Yes, there needs to be some flexibility here. For some people, you can go even to more micro, what they do on the weekends versus through the week.
Yeah.
Like for some people, I've seen and I've known where it's like, you know what? We agree that you trying to do certain types of training sessions on the weekend is not going to work for you.
Yeah.
So don't. If it works, go for a walk, and you save your hard training sessions for through the week.
Yeah.
Like I can use a personal example for me, and seasons is a really good word to use because it's how I treat it with doing my martial arts training. I treat my martial arts training like playing a sport, like football or something. There's on season, there's off season. And my training changes and my recovery changes based on if I'm in my on season or my off season. So my on season is when when I'm building up towards a grading and getting a new belt color. That my training changes, my training ramps up, my rest and recovery become paramount. I for example, I don't run. I never run when I'm doing a lot of martial arts training because it's like I've tried this in the past. My body tells me too much impact, big boy. You can't recover from this.
Yeah.
So when I'm in my karate on season, I ain't running.
No.
At all. But I'm more open to running when I'm in my karate off season because I'm not getting the impact of punching and kicking and getting thrown and falling and landing and things like that. So I adapt my training and my recovery protocols on a seasonal basis like that too, which is really ties into the whole point of this key, which is to work with your life season, not against it.
Yes.
And be adaptable and understand that it's not failure, it's actually smart.
Yes.
And what it does as well, low-key thing here to point out, learning and building that adaptability based on different seasons of your life gives you confidence that you can handle whatever seasons life will throw at you, because you start to build this trust in yourself that, hey, well, I've handled this situation before, I can handle it again.
Yeah, I agree.
And that then gives you confidence that, well, you know what? Something I can't see coming is coming eventually.
Yeah.
I have faith in myself and trust and belief and confidence I can handle that too.
Yes.
Cool. Next key.
Next key. Build a floor to, I always say floor to ceiling.
Just keep rolling.
Build a floor, not ceiling. Your non-negotiable minimums.
Yes. So this is the whole point of this, is to not focus on designing ideal days.
Yes.
It's to design bare minimum days that you can still do a bare minimum after getting punched in the face by life.
So this is what we talk about with floor versus ceiling.
Well, we've done an episode of the podcast in the past about peaks and valleys.
Yes.
That is this.
Yes.
And this ties into something I always look at with people is I'm more concerned about the depth of your valleys than the height of your peaks. What someone does on their bare minimum days will dictate far more how well they go with this than how good they do on their ideal days, because the ideal days don't last for long.
No.
So let's look at an example here of floor versus ceiling or peak versus valley. So 50 burpees. 50 burpees.
If you get interrupted in the podcast.
That's what we used to do at the gym. When we were running group classes, someone's phone goes off, right, burpees.
Burpees.
Yep, everyone gets burpees. So Courtney's got 50 burpees once we're done. So floor versus ceiling. So the ceiling can be, okay, this is my perfect plan. So on every day or every week, I'm getting 10,000 steps a day. I'm doing 5 gym workouts a week. I'm 100% perfect with my nutrition, 0% off-plan meals. That is a ceiling that, like, good luck hitting that.
Yeah.
More often than not. I don't even hit that more often than not.
No.
I'm more concerned about what your floor looks like. So the floor is the bare minimum that you can do even on awful days, because these minimums, though, will depend on where you are on the path. So the minimum, this is what I spoke earlier about standards and expectations.
Yes.
They are different, and they should be different, whether someone is beginner, intermediate, advanced.
Yes.
Big time.
Your minimums should advance with you. Is that what you're saying?
100%.
So,
yes.
Yes. Your bare minimums as a beginner should be lower, because you shouldn't put too many expectations.
I'll tell you what
on
it
yourself.
is. I've had clients like this. They've gone the full path of coming in at complete, absolute hot mess beginner levels and finishing at the level where they are so good, I would actually pay them to coach me.
Yes.
To go through that range, the expectations are so different from where they started to where they finish.
Yes.
Like, the expectations I have for someone who's a beginner is just learn how to show up, man, or woman. Just learn how to show up and learn how to not roll over when life gets hard. If you do that, you get all the high fives. Where someone who is more advanced Like they're beyond that. That's where the expectations are more like, right, we're talking about 85, 90, 95% consistent, where no matter what happens in life, you aren't budging.
Yeah.
You aren't getting pushed off the mark here. But also it can be the expectations on how they record. For example, a food diary week. A beginner is just learn how to record, learn how to write down what you're having and not miss things.
Yes.
Where someone who's more advanced, they are breaking down what they're having. This is my protein source. This is my carb source. These are my fat sources. This is how much protein I got. This was the serve of veg that I had. This was how much fish oil or flax I had. I had this many cups of water, this many cups of coffee, and this was in it. This was in that. Like, I went to bed at this time. I woke up at this time. My training session was here. I did this. It finished at this time. These are my supplements. None of this applies to beginner level people.
No.
Beginner level people is, mate, just get to the fucking gym and go and reintroduce yourself to your kitchen. Just start there. But then as the individual starts to improve and starts to build some form of base level consistency, then it's like, righto, you're ready to have a little bit more heat applied, a little bit more, because you're ready for it.
Yeah.
You know? So the whole point here is that the ceiling versus floor. So the ceiling will get you progress when life is calm, which is not going to last long. The floor, or how much you control the floor of the valley, that's what stops you sliding backwards when life is not calm.
Stops you giving up and restarting.
Well, you always eventually you'll fall off to the depth of your floor.
Mm.
So I always will tell people, and this is the thing I've noticed now, doing this for a very, very long time. It's actually 15 years professionally this year. A person's, how far they fall off or how low their floor is will tell me more about how they go versus how high their ceilings are. Because every single person has a very high ceiling, even beginners. When they nail it, they can nail it. But the difference with people is how far they go off when they get off, or when they hit the floor.
Yeah.
Some people will hit it and stay down for weeks or months. Where the high level people, they don't avoid getting knocked off track. They just get back on track faster.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, a win can be not so much from not falling off. It's from not falling off as much and not stopping. You know, staying the course. For some people, staying the course is the win.
Yeah.
Like I've said this to clients as well. Like, you know what? In this season of your life, you're not going to be hitting PBs. And that's okay. Your win will come from not going backwards.
Yeah.
And that's, for a lot of people, that can be hard to sort of grapple with, because it's like, oh, well, it should always be about moving forwards. Sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes the actual progress is through not going backwards and just staying at a base level of quality.
Trusting that you've built the foundations, that the floor is sort of going to catch you and it's not going to allow you to go backwards.
Well, I know for me, I know that my base level minimum standard is more than good enough to carry me through, more than good enough. Mm. There'll be some weeks, and I said this to you in the past, Courtney, there's some days it's like I'm just in Hulk mode today.
Yes.
Like the gym session is just unbelievable. My productivity, like my brain's actually working properly, and I'm just ripping through what I want to rip through. That's not every day.
No.
But I know that on my worst day, the bare minimum's still getting done.
Yeah.
I'm still moving the ball down the field. It just might be 1 yard at a time versus, 15, 20 yards at a time.
Yes.
And that's A-okay. So for someone who's just learning how to stay consistent when life does not like you, this can look like just setting some minimum standards for yourself. So it might be, no matter what happens, I'm going to hit however many thousand steps it might be. Like for some people, it might be, I'm going to hit 6,000 steps a day, no matter what. Great. Go do that and earn that belief in yourself. Or it could be, no matter what happens, knowing I'm going into a busy season of my life, I'm going to make sure I've got good choices on hand. So I'm
Good
going
food
to,
choices.
good food choices on hand. So I'm going to plan and prepare my food ahead of time. And I'm going to do that consistently. Great. Go for it.
Yeah.
Or it could be like a self-care minimum where like, you know what, I'm just sleeping like shit these days. So you know what, for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to bed half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
I'm setting an alarm on my phone to go off when we're recording a podcast. No, I'm going to set off an alarm on my phone or set an alarm on my phone to go off when it's time to go to bed. And once that alarm goes off, screens go off.
Yeah, I was going to say
I'm
might
going
be
to
a
bed.
goal to switch the screens off earlier.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep. So basically the idea is to set yourself some minimums where that if life has punched you in the face today and you still hit these minimums, you win.
Yes.
Next key.
Okay, key 4 is create a this one is,
Create a pre-decided punch in the face plan.
I actually don't know why we called it that.
So the idea,
It's basically saying you need a plan B, my world is a hot mess and I need a punch in the face plan.
Well, yeah, it's basically going through this so that you know when the season changes or when life gives you a knuckle sandwich, well, I'm going to do this.
I think it was like in that last one we were talking about where sometimes you can prepare for season changes, but other times they just knock you in the face.
Yeah. Yep. So it's like, okay, if you need to have an idea or a plan of, well, if X happens, I do Y.
Yes.
So some examples could be commonly, if I have a bad day at work, I know I'm going to miss the gym because that's been my routine for years. Or if I have a sick kid, I'm going to miss the gym. Or, my meeting at work went late. I haven't got time to cook dinner. I'm going through the drive-through and I'm getting some junk food. Or a real common one is I've had an emotional day. Time to raid the pantry.
Yeah.
Time to smash the wine, smash the chocolate, smash the chips, whatever it might be. What we want to do is start to decide in advance how you'd like to change
Yes.
those routines. So it could be as simple as, well, if I know I can't get to the gym today, I'm going to reschedule the session, but I might go for a short walk instead. I'm going to do something as opposed to completely doing nothing. Or it could be, well, okay, I had a late meeting at work or I had to stay back at work for whatever reason, but I know I've got a backup dinner at home waiting to go.
Frozen emergency stash.
Yeah, might be something you pull out of the freezer and away you go, but you pre-cooked ahead of time.
Yes.
You know? Or it could be, I just need to unwind and just
You've had that
unplug.
emotional day.
I've had an emotional day and I just can't people right now.
Yeah.
I can't people.
We need to shut it down.
Just get them away from me. Well, for most, get most people away from me, but could be as simple as rather than going straight to the pantry, I might send a text message to a friend or I might reach out to someone, someone who always perks me up and just have a convo. Or for some people, and this is big for you, Courtney, I might just journal.
Yeah, I don't want to people at all. And I'd rather just journal or maybe pull out a book and switch my brain off for half an hour.
Yep. Which can be a whole lot more productive and a whole lot less guilt-ridden than knowing when things get emotional, I hit the pantry.
And I'm just unknowingly down to an entire block of chocolate.
Where'd that whole chocolate go?
Literally. You can sometimes be gone in a minute and you don't realise that you've just eaten the whole thing.
Yeah, it's almost like you just sort of
unconsciously eating, yes.
Yeah. So for you, the action steps there are just write down from your perspective and your history of yourself, what are the 3 biggest punches that will usually knock you off track? Put down on paper or on your phone a backup response for each. And if it is on paper, put that list on your fridge. So that could just be your life just hit me plan. So have it somewhere that you can see it.
Easily get to it.
Yep. And just start with the 3 biggest triggers that you have that will knock you off track. Because that's going to be different from person to person.
Yes.
So identify them, put something in place to be like, righto, these are my backup responses when these things happen.
Yes.
and then just go, when those things happen, go and, roll those plans out. They may not be perfect, but they're a start.
It's a target. It gives you something to look at rather than just...
Well, it's a good feeling to know that, hey, I'm now actively working on this, as opposed to I'm doing nothing and I'm a victim of this time and time again.
And if we relate this back, we're obviously talking about redefining consistency here. So having a backup plans, it just adds to that feeling of control and consistency that you have.
Good word, control. Feeling like you're in control is incredibly empowering.
Yes.
Incredibly. And it's a common thing for people like us is to just feel completely out of control.
Yes.
And to feel like you're a slave to your emotions. Now, it's not a case of, getting so good at this that you become some sort of robot. Like, we all go through emotional periods, but like, I can be emotional the best of times, but I'm at the stage now where I don't become a slave to them. Just because, for me, the way I look at this for myself is just because I may be feeling sad or angry or anxious does not mean I need to act upon them.
Yes.
It's okay to just work through the feelings and let them pass, because they will.
They will.
All right, one more key to go.
All righty. Key number 5, last one. Drop the solo act. Get support and reduce the shame.
Yeah, so one thing that I do like to tell clients is that for a lot of people, consistency is not a personality trait. It can actually be a team sport. So the thing is, it's virtually impossible, in my experience, I've seen this firsthand, you're not going to out willpower stress, fatigue, and decades of bad habits by yourself.
No.
And often what I'll see is, like, we're happy to help everyone else, but we so often will feel guilty asking for help ourselves.
Yeah, all the time.
Like, it's a common thing. Like, we're great at giving advice and terrible at taking it.
Yes.
So this is where, especially for those of you that have partners, family, etc., even just like good friends,
Yes.
is I would encourage you to tell those closest to you that you feel are going to be good support for you. Tell them what you're trying to do,
Yes.
why it's important to you, but also how they can help. And there's something I see a lot with married people. There's a common question I'll ask, like, okay, you want to achieve X, Y, Z. Does your husband know about this? Does your wife know about this? Like, whoever it might be, do they know about this? The person you live with, your life partner, do they know about this? Oh, you haven't really told them. How come?
Yeah.
Or, okay, they do know a bit. How much do they know? Do they know how much this is affecting you as much as I know? Because if I know more about how this is affecting you than your partner does, something's going wrong here.
Yeah.
So very often it can be on us to coach our friends, our
Loved ones.
loved ones, support network.
Yeah.
We need to coach them on what they can best do to help us, because they're not going to know.
No.
They're probably going to do it for a living.
Yes. Yes.
So very often I've had it, like, because most of the clients that we've had in our history have been women. Like,
Yes.
9 out of 10
Yes.
are women. And so often it's like, well, hey, if you took the time to be vulnerable and tell your boyfriend, your husband, your partner, whoever it might be, if you took the time to tell them what's going on here and how this is affecting you, they might be surprised. They might be surprised at just how much of a problem this is for you and want to help you.
Yes.
But it's on you to tell them and to coach them on how to do that. So it could be, okay, like a mum with kids, right? Recruit the kids to help with shopping and food prep.
Yeah.
Get them in the kitchen. Get them helping prepare things. It could be a friend of yours that you catch up and go for a walk with once a week and just air it out.
Yeah. Yes.
Or a coffee with a friend, whatever it might be. But depending on how serious you are and how far you want to take this, it could be like, looking for a coach, looking for a program that gives you structure, accountability, and perspective to help build the skills, the routines, the confidence, the habits, etc., that help you move beyond what we're talking about here today. Because the thing is, like, you don't really need more self-punishment. People are good enough as it is at punishing ourselves. What you need are to have more honest conversations with people who get it and who get you. Yeah?
Yes.
So it could be, if my computer turned back on, it could be to, maybe you start with one uncomfortable conversation, like asking your significant other, if you've got kids, to handle bedtime certain nights a week so you can go hit the gym. Or to handle the school run, if possible, while you're in the gym, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or it could be just messaging a friend, hey, let's go down to the lake and go for a walk on Saturday. And you'd be surprised how far you can walk when you're talking to someone.
Oh, yeah. You forget. You forget how far you've gone. It's so boring to do it on your own.
Oh, unless you got a really good podcast or audio book.
That's true.
However, it is good to have someone just to air it out with.
Yeah, keep pace with. Yeah, it makes such a difference.
Mm-hmm. And for some people, it could be, as I said before, depending on how far you want to take it. Like if you need to have, some structure laid in to this with what you're doing, like find a program, find a coach, find a trainer. Like there's a gazillion of them.
Yes.
That can sort of help you develop a plan around your real life. That's the end of our keys, Courtney.
That was key number 5. Yes.
Yes. So I think before we wrap up, I want to sort of just say here that just from my perspective, from our perspective, really, because we've done this with people for a long time, is that it's really going to be about creating different routines for each situation that someone's going to find themselves in through their life. Because if we're doing some sort of plan or a program that only works under certain seasons or certain situations, the program's busted.
Yeah.
It's inevitably going to fail.
It's already limited. Yes.
Well, the moment something changes in life, the plan's gone.
Yes.
So what are we doing here? So I know for me, whenever I'm speaking to someone that getting to know them with this, it's like, okay, well, do you have family? What do you do for work? Are you a shift worker? Do you do fly in, fly out work? Do you have certain periods of time at work that are more chaotic than others?
Are you currently rehabbing any injuries?
Do you have any injuries or illnesses we need to know? We've got one here that you've added, Courtney, like,
Whale week.
What happens during whale week?
Yeah.
Whale week's a female thing.
Menstrual cycle week.
Yep.
Yes.
Now I know just from my limited male perspective, though, having worked with a lot of women, like that whale week is different from woman to woman.
Yes.
Like, now, correct me here if I say anything that seems like bullshit to you, but from my observations, like there's some women that on whale week, like they're hitting their PBs.
Yeah.
They are just absolutely Wonder Woman on whale weeks, where others can barely even hit the gym. Like they are so wiped out.
Yes. And
you just got to adjust and like, righto, if you know that whale week is your PB week, then go for gold.
Right.
Off you go. But if whale week just absolutely lays you out, no problem at all.
Yeah.
What's the minimum you can do during whale week so you're still moving forward, but you're also working with what your body gives you? Am I on the mark with that?
Yeah. Or it could be like me where you could have either. It could go either way.
Explain this, please.
And so I've had menstrual cycle weeks where I have felt like Hulk in the gym, like everything has gone up and I've thought this is really strange.
Yep.
But then probably more often than not, but then I have had other times where there's a couple of days there I can barely get to work, let alone get to the gym.
Have you noticed any patterns?
No, but I think with me, it also depends. It depends what you're working with. Some women will have different symptoms based on anything else that they're carrying. So endometriosis, PCOS, all of these different things can play factors in that as well. So it might be easier to plan for, is what I'm saying, because it's very consistent month to month. but then it might not be very consistent at all. Your cycle might not be very consistent, so you have no idea when that week's coming.
Yep.
So you can't plan for it necessarily in advance, but you do have to have that backup plan ready to go when it does hit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, really, it's just going to be about developing a sense of adaptability.
Yes.
And flexibility, and not just being so rigid where it's like, I have to nail it, or the plan has to be like only works in ideal situations. Like, it's not conducive, or it doesn't align with real life.
No.
It doesn't align with real life. No. So developing that level of adaptability not only helps you manage those tough times, but as I was touching on before, you build belief and confidence and trust in yourself. So you start to teach yourself, instead of when things get hard, I stop. When things get hard, I can handle it.
Yeah, I will adjust.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be.
As someone who is at that stage now, where I don't know what my future will hold, but I know I'll be able to handle it. Yes. That is so powerful.
Yes.
It's honestly, it's freeing is a word I would use.
Yeah. And I think for me too, I think I've gone through a lot of different things over the past many years.
Yep.
And it always changes. I think even for me with infertility and fertility treatment, that was obviously a big season for me. And
both of us.
For both of us. And every time I went through a IVF cycle, I wasn't sure exactly how my body was going to respond. And I would have to adjust my nutrition and my exercise plan every time based off how I was feeling or what my body was going through at the time. So I had to constantly become okay with changing up my expectations and changing up the plan and lowering my expectations for myself and really trying to look after myself in a different way during those times. So, yeah, I think we've both done this a lot over the years, and I think it's safe to say that we're both pretty comfortable now with being able to adjust on the fly and trust ourselves that we have set ourselves a floor to be able to catch us when that happens.
Well, we've earned that belief in ourselves, and it does give you confidence in yourself, because it's like, you know what? I can't control everything that's going to happen in life, but I do know I'll be okay.
And dealing with, as you mentioned earlier, that guilt and shame related to that is really important, because I know it took me a long, long time to be able to get over the shame of feeling like I was failing by changing things up, by taking, 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I really had to get over myself and get over that feeling of shame and failure to be able to accept the fact that this was just always going to be part of my life and part of my routine, and it was okay, because you can still make progress. As you said, Matt, most important thing, you can still make progress by not going backwards.
Yes. Changing or just recognizing the different seasons that you move through. I also use the word chapters for some people, like they're in different chapters of their life.
Yeah, both work, whatever works.
Insert word here.
Yeah.
Just recognizing when those times are and what those times are, and understanding that, okay, I will need a plan for each season that I go through.
Yes.
Once you accept that, that's where it starts to get a whole lot easier, because it's like, well, okay, I'm in this part of my life. I'll now go and I'll adjust this, and this.
Yeah. And getting the framework of perfection out of your head is consistency doesn't equal perfection, and it never should equal perfection.
Well, I know for me, like I do things at a very, very high level, but they're never perfect.
No.
But they're consistently high.
And not judging your flaw versus somebody else's.
Oh,
so
yes.
Don't judge what you set your bare minimums at compared to somebody else.
Yep.
Because not only are they potentially going to be at a different mark than you.
They probably will be at a different mark.
Everything in your life is different from someone else's life.
Yep.
You're a different gender. You have different challenges in your life than somebody else. You have different things that will pop up at different times.
Different backgrounds.
Like, there is just so much different to what other people go through. You can never judge what you set your minimum at to somebody else's.
No, it's got to be where you are based on what you feel that you can handle.
Yeah.
and it should evolve with you. It's honestly nothing to do with someone else.
Has to be completely separate, because otherwise that's where you fall in the trap that I've fallen into in previous years gone by, which is then that will then just manifest into shame. Guilt and shame, to feel like you're doing something wrong or you're not doing enough, which then leads you down really bad mental paths that are just going to compromise any good work that you've done.
I think as well, learning and experiencing how much you don't have to be perfect to make really good progress with this, it takes a lot of emotional weight off your shoulders and actually frees a lot of space in your head.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's that like saying that you'll sometimes say, Matt, which is, let's find out what we can get away with. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Let's not go straight to 100 when we could have been at 75, 80, 85. Like, let's see what we can get away with and build on from there.
I've seen beginners, talking about the consistency percentage you asked about earlier, I've seen absolute beginners change on being consistent 50% of the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't last forever.
No.
Doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
But initially,
you have to evolve with that.
Yeah, you do. But going from literally getting off the couch and doing nothing for yourself to doing something some of the time, you'd be surprised at how things can change just through building some real base level of consistency.
Yes.
That then evolves from there as you do. So let's wrap it up. So I would say for you, if this hits home and you know that you've been waiting for life to calm down before you start again or start properly, just take a few minutes out of your day-to-day just to write down what those habits are for you that will come up once you get punched in the face, and what your plan is for next time they happen.
Yeah, work through those 5 steps and really just figure out what your flaw is. And
just go and do it when those things happen. Just understand that it may not be perfect, but you've made a start. Absolutely. And you can always adapt and evolve from there. And if you want help building this around your life so you can actually be consistent for, more than a few weeks at a time, there's a link in the show notes that will take you to a short form that we've put in just to see if our coaching program may or may not be a fit.
Yep.
And on that note, let's get out of here.
Thank you for joining us.
Thumbs up. Well done.
I hope that helped, and we will see you next time.
Bye for now.
Are you ready to share your success? Head over to our website for full access to our show notes, resources based on today's topic, and links to our Facebook group so you can share your story with our hosts and many others out there who are looking to achieve and maintain their health and fitness goals. You can find all that and more exclusively at theweightlosspodcast.com.